This is part 30 of my series on my Angage Model Railway project. Previous parts cover the project from its inception through the creation of the baseboard, selection and laying of track, building of scenic items, obtaining rolling stock, etc. The project is ongoing. This part is just another little train cam tour of the layout. I know that I just did one of these a couple of days ago, but I realized that I had another camera that might work in some ways better for this, so I thought I'd give it a go. Now, this other camera is certainly not as good a camera as the Mobius Mini that I used for the previous tour, but then again it was about a tenth of the price, so you can't really complain about the value. This is the SQ11 Action camera. It doesn't produce the best video quality, certainly not as good as the Mobius, but the video's not too bad. It has a certain immediacy. And the main point about using this as a train cam is that it's actually quite a bit narrower than the Mobius Mini, allowing it to squeeze through some places where the Mobius Mini couldn't go. On the other hand, it's higher than the Mobius Mini, so it won't fit under things that the Mini passed under without a problem. The SQ11 definitely wasn't going to get under any of the footbridges, so I removed them all for this tour. I also swung the loading gauge out of the way so that the SQ11 could get in and out of the yard. Even so, as you'll see in the following video, it still ran into a couple of things. Here's the SQ11 mounted on the same Pico 15-foot wagon base that I used for the Mobius Mini, and propelled by the same Graham Farish Ginty 3F tank loco. The control of the SQ11 camera is frankly bizarre. There are only two buttons, power and mode. You press the power button and the light comes on. You press the power button again and the light goes out. So you've turned the camera off, right? No, you started it recording. When it's recording, it looks exactly the same as when it's turned off. The only conceivable reason I can think of for designing an interface like this would be so that people could be tricked into thinking the camera was off when it was in fact recording. Anyway, you have to live with how the camera is. It also has infrared and motion detect modes, so it has quite a lot of features for the price, which is less than $10. I tried to improve the coupling on the wagon base for the camera, as it kept coming uncoupled before when I had the coupling just held down by a piece of sprue and masking tape. Now I've cut a piece of plastic more accurately to size and actually glued another piece over the top to hold things in place. I believe the coupling does work better now. So now let's see a tour of the layout through the lens of the SQ11. Okay, well, you're actually in an engine shed now, so we're going to see if we can, famous last words, if we can bring you out onto the turntable. This camera, well, it'll do some things the other camera won't, and it won't do some things the other camera would. It'll go into engine sheds and under the gantry there and through the viaduct, but it won't fit because it's higher. It won't fit under the footbridges, so I had to remove all of the footbridges from the layout to run this camera around. But I think it should work for everything else. So we'll turn you around till you're facing on the main line there, and we'll see if we can bring you out. You may well brush against this big... Yes, you did brush against that blasted telegraph pole there. He's a constant problem for a lot of things. We'll shut that point into the yard behind you so we don't accidentally run into it. And bring you round here. Under the viaduct, up to the Lone Star station, the Lone Star signal box, and up the gradient, which is the nastiest gradient on the layout, this steeply curved gradient up to the viaduct here. Shouldn't be a problem for this because this camera doesn't weigh much, but trying to get a heavy train up here. Now this camera I think will actually go through the viaduct unlike any other camera. All the other cameras I've run had to be taken manually from one side of the viaduct to the other. Now we're going down the steep gradient, so if you come uncoupled you're going to run away like crazy. you didn't come uncoupled that time. And now you're back to where you started, essentially. Oh, I had to move the loading gauge. That's another thing I had to move. Not surprised. Oh, and you can't get past that signal. Okay, didn't realise that. I don't want to move that. So we're going to back you up and see if we can take you around another way. I do not want to remove that signal. That's a metal signal glued into place. Let's see if we can get you around this way. I think you'll go through the tunnel okay. Well, I had this camera through the tunnel before, put it like that, and it went. I think it was on this track. It's high. I mean, this is the problem with this camera. It's narrow. It's not really particularly, it doesn't overhang the edge of the track very much. But for some reason we got the crossover on. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. We could have crossed you over, but anyway. Oh, and you're still sticking on that telegraph pole there. Even the other one's stuck on that telegraph pole. Okay. We'll go once more round. You're going round where you were, same place you went before. That's Bilston Holt in front of you there, and the farm. We'll take you round this way, and then we will take you round onto the outside line. Through the viaduct. Down with the yard on the left and all the sidings on the right. New ash plant in front of you there. New sanding plant coming up on your left. Through Colville Station. Metcalfe Country Station buildings. Kestrel platforms. Bits from various other people. Through the tunnel again. Okay, now we are going to try and take you across the crossover onto the other road. Onto the outside line. I'm not 100% sure you're going to get past everything here either, but we'll see. Through Colville Station. Oh no, so you... Whoops. No, the signals are a problem for this guy because he's so high. He won't clear those signal gantries. Ah well. So he's not really much of an improvement over the Minicam. I mean, past Scraptos Station there behind you. Yep, you came uncoupled. I tried to fix that coupling, but I don't know. I did try. Oh, actually, I think you came a bit derailed, in fact, was what happened there. You came partially derailed on the crossover there, was what the problem was. Ah, perhaps because you hit that. Yeah, that's it. Yes, I see what the problem is. You're hitting that, you're hitting the telegraph pole, I beg your pardon there. You're hitting the telegraph pole and it's actually derailing you. Such as it is. Will you get through the tunnel? Yes. You get through the tunnel, but you can't get under the signals. There you go, we stopped you in Colville Station there. Well, let's bring you back one more time and then we'll see what we can do. was hoping if I speeded you up a bit there, I'd get you over the crossover without you stalling. Oh, whoops. But not quite. Well, there you go. I think we'll just bring you around Colville Station this way. Like, we should be able to get in on this line. I think we... Oh, famous nice words. Whoops-a-daisy. You got stuck here now. I thought you could get through. Well, you did get through here. You got through here before. Are you derailed or what? I don't know what's happening here. Because it got through there before without touching, which it didn't this time. I don't know whether it's derailed or... Where are we going here? There we go. I think we'll call that a day then. You're in Colville Station again now.